Good morning and welcome back to Grow Joyfully. I made it out here at 6:45 this morning. There's a lot to do, so let's get started. I'm continuing to tie up the cucumbers in this bed. It's smoky out on the horizon. This is July, and it's when so many fires start. This little guy's warming himself up. It's a tough time of year with all the heat, and then the fires start, and then there's smoke hanging around, and I think this fire is in Oregon. It's that far away, but it's kind of a tough time of year. I'm going to remove these little tendrils. I think this looks a little better. I'm getting them trimmed up the hoop, and I've cut off some of the leaves so we can have better airflow. There's a lot of little fruit growing. I tried to leave enough leaves for shade for the fruit so it didn't get sun scald. And the younger ones that are planted down here are still growing. This is the only one tall enough to tie back. The beans and the cucumbers now have more room. Look what I found today. It is so exciting. I brought out my trug, which is just this little handy dandy fruit and vegetable holder. And I'm actually going to do my first picking of beans. These are the contender beans that I was so excited about. They don't look exactly long and straight and perfect like the package did, but we will give these a try. Some of these leaves are yellow and brown like this because it wasn't getting enough water over here by the sprinklers, and now I've moved the sprinklers, and hopefully I'm going to trim these leaves off, and hopefully they'll snap back and be just fine. Oh, look at these. So I knew this kind of before, but I heard from Qstead Q, which is a very good channel, that you've got to pick the beans so that they don't think that their job is finished and they stop producing. So the more you pick, the more you get. So I thought that was kind of important to go back over and remind myself. There's quite a few in here. This is exciting. I like to get them when they're smaller so that they don't get too tough. So I better keep an eye out for this. They're not as dark and beautiful and straight as I thought they would be. So far my opinion of them is, well, they're okay. They're green beans. This is how many green beans I've picked just on this side. So I'll go over on the other side and finish picking those. I think this looks a lot better. I took out all the dead leaves, took off a few extra leaves, cleaned everything out towards the bottom, so there'll be less chance for disease and there'll be more chance for health and vigor of the plants so that they can have more airflow, sunshine, and nutrition. I had to trim this one back because it's a climbing bean and it was getting out of control, but now it's all nice and trimmed and it looks great. Here's another one of the volunteers, so I just left it out here and trained it here up the T-post and up the cattle panel. Here's some basil that I'd better harvest and get into the house to dry. taking a detour from the green beans over there to harvest some of the things out of this skinny bed. This looks like a calendula flower. That's a cosmos. There's definitely not enough room in here for that. And the sweet peas need to be tied back up. They're looking pretty good. Looks like we have some radishes. So let's get those out of there, if they're big enough. And this cilantro is going to seed to create some coriander. All different spices, different uses. So I'm getting some basil out. Looking for bigger radishes. That's not overly big. Sorry about the camera work. It's so hard to make these tripods stand up. Try to film, try to harvest, try to keep your camera from toppling over. I think I might just take out some of these radishes just because we need some more room and airflow in here. They're not quite ready, but their greenery is taking up a lot of the space. Oh, what are you? Are you a friend or a foe? If anybody knows what this little critter is, please let me know. And let me know if it is friend or foe. Sorry, that rhymed. I will give him the benefit of the doubt because it doesn't look like he's destroying anything at this point. There's a nice radish. I know it's late in the year for most people to even think of growing radishes, but so far, they've done well. I finished gathering the herbs in that skinny bed. Looks like I need to gather some sage again. But I'm going to turn my attention to this mess. These are more contender beans, and there are some anasazi beans that need to be trimmed and tied up. Okay, I have these beans picked. I have the dead leaves taken out and some of the leaves trimmed off so that we have better airflow. And we have this anasazi bean plant, or the three of them, looking good and being tied up. So now it's time to move on to the herb bed right behind me. The bindweed is back, so it's time to clear that out. I did some fertilizing yesterday of everything in this bed. I will go up to the nasturtium and take out the brown and dead leaves and cut back the parsley that's gone to seed. These rosemary plants aren't very established, but I think I'm going to harvest just a little bit so I can put some away for the winter. I love the smell of all these herbs when you just brush by them. They're incredible. Here's some sage. Amazing smells. Time to work on this end of the herb bed. You can see there's a whole bunch of different greenery here. What I have is carrots, marigolds, and parsley. Time to separate them and thin them out. Oh, and there's also some dill in the mix. And these are the blooms from the parsley that's gone to seed. Aren't they pretty? It's time to tackle this bed. It's pretty overgrown and it needs to be weeded and have things trimmed back and airflow improved. Well, I've got this cleaned out pretty well. I took down the alyssum. Accidentally took out a nasturtium, which I wanted to leave, but oh well. I thinned the carrots some. They're going to definitely need more, but I'm going to wait till they get a little bigger Took the bottom leaves of this purple cabbage off, as well as more bottom leaves of the Brussels sprouts, and trimmed back that crazy Romanesco broccoli. It's either that or it leaves. And did some more carrot thinning up there and trimmed off any browned or yellow leaves. There's a lot more airflow here, and it needed it very badly. I need to get out to the pasture garden and get some tomatoes tied up. So I think I will call it quits here for today. I really wanted to weed eat and catch up with the weed eating here, but by the time I pick up all the things that I've trimmed and I get them in the compost, it's going to be getting even hotter. So I think I will sign off for now. Encourage you to have a great day. Get outside when it's cool in the morning. Be careful of the heat. Make sure you drink a lot of water, but not only just water. You will need other things that have electrolytes and different things in them. So be careful of that. I've had heat stroke or heat exhaustion. I think heat stroke once because I ended up in the hospital, and heat exhaustion twice. So it's not very smart. Don't be a hero. Keep your head covered. Keep sunscreen on. Drink a lot of water, work in the shade when you can, and then just go in the house. I hope you have a great day, and please don't forget to do it joyfully. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time.